And we are live again for the second time today because this morning I went live to talk about the intimacy masterclass that I'm giving tomorrow. And I wanted you guys to know that it was the last 24 hours to sign up, and so that you can have the opportunity to sign up and to find out more about it. I gave the opportunity to, write down your questions, go on the chat, and really just ask me anything. Oh, and that's twice. That was this morning, and it was very interesting because it brought out a lot of questions privately. And so I wanted to come on and answer those questions publicly for everyone because obviously, as you know, like all teachers say, when somebody has a question, it usually means more than one person has it and is not comfortable asking it. And here's the deal. A lot of people are saying, well, it's really nice that you opened up and said that you're not into being all like open about it, but if you're not going to be open about it, then what are we going to talk about? So we're going to talk about both the mindset work and all of the behind the scenes of what is going on. And also it will lead into the practical, technical, how to actually make it happen. So what do you practically do tonight? What do you practically do tomorrow? What can you do in the next week, in the next month? Whenever you decide that you want to tap into that, what do you do? We're going to address that. But here's the thing. I want to make a really clear distinction between the root of the problem and the symptom. When a woman says, I'm not in the mood, sometimes I just don't feel like it, sometimes I just feel like maybe I fell out of love, or I'm not attracted anymore, I don't know, maybe something happened, or like we're living this technical life where it's like, who's picking what, who's picking up who from gone, and who's going to get who, and what are we eating for dinner, and all these technicalities that we sort of forgot we're actually married and are supposed to have a more full life, something more than just running a household together or being roommates. And that's not the ideal. That's not what we want. So you feel a frustration, you feel some reason why you want this. You want a masterclass that will get you back on track to want to make things better, to be more in touch with what it is that is important to you and what it is that you actually want to line up with and start moving forward. So that's the symptom of what's happening. You don't just wake up one day and say, I don't know, I'm not in the mood anymore, I'm not really attracted, whatever. That's actually something that is the surface of what's happening underneath. And as a married, this whole thing started because I am a marriage coach and I help women improve their marriage. And of course, your romance, your intimacy is all part of your marriage and is stuff that comes up. And when those things come up, that's just the tip of the iceberg that shows me that there is something going on under the surface. And so instead of really just like talking technicalities and anatomy and the medical stuff, and maybe something is wrong with your hormones or whatever, which just as a spoiler, a lot of research has been showing that it has less to do with your hormones and more to do with your mindset. So that's a tip of the iceberg that's showing me we need to work on something deeper. And that's usually when I go deeper with my clients and we really get into what is going on underneath, behind all that stuff. What's really going on in your head? You don't believe it, you deserve, you're not worthy of pleasure, you're not interested in delight. Like, it's just, I don't know, there's a lot of different layers, and those are all normal things that we all have to go through. So we're working through life, we're growing through all these different things, and this is just one of those symptoms that's showing us that this is where we need to work. So the masterclass is going to start with a lot of, we're going to start with, meditation, a little bit of visualization. It's not going to be, deep. It's going to be very, just to get into the, into it. So it's like 2 minutes. Then we're going to get into all the different facts and mindset shifts that have to happen. For example, your husband wants the best for you. He loves you. He wants you to be happy. These are things that sometimes women are like, no, but not my husband. Every husband, because that's just how Hashem made your husband. Okay. That's how he made men, to protect, to make sure that his wife is doing well and that she's happy and that everything that she needs, she has. So it might not look that way because he might feel bad about himself. He might feel like he's not doing his job. And so he's a little bit depressed in that aspect of like wanting to, being motivated to do more. But in his nature, that is what men want. And so that's just a spoiler, like a little bit of a peek into some of the things we're going to talk about. And we're going to talk about a lot of those things that will help us shift the way that we think about certain things that are really the building blocks for intimacy. And then we're going to roll right into the practicalities and the things that you can actually do. Okay. So when I say we're going to focus a lot on mindset, I'm not saying we're just going to stay in the, woo and talk about that and then go home and be like, okay, something magical is supposed to happen. No, we're really working on the basics. We're building on them. We're maybe trying to settle down a little bit of different fears, different beliefs that we have that might have come with a lot of baggage from growing up, from being in this culture, from just all those things. And then we're going to get really practical. If you know me for any amount of time, you know that I am super practical and I love giving you practical tools about how to take what we're talking about into practice. And this is a perfect example of taking what you learn into practice, because you're actually going to be able to practice what we are going to learn. And I am always here for the questions, for the feedback. I am going to set up the Zoom in a way that will only allow you to chat with me so that other people in the group won't get the things that you were writing. And this way, anytime you have any question or clarification, or you want to throw me a word or a smiley face, I don't care. It will all come to me. I'll be able to see it, but no one else will be able to see it. This way, you're in your house. You're safe. You don't have to open up. You don't have to show who you are. You don't have to use your voice. You can absorb and be part of the conversation by typing your questions and really being active in that way. So there is a little bit of that back and forth where you can ask me questions and you can react to what I'm saying, but there isn't going to be, let's all open our videos and talk about, no, very, very private. And this morning when I spoke about it, I spoke about why it is that is so important to me. And I got a lot of flack for it because some people are really under the belief that everything should be spoken about openly and there is a place and a time for everything to just be like, spilled out. And that's true. And I just don't feel like I am that type of person. It's just not my personality to say, certain things openly and just like, okay, let's just, whatever, especially not on a live, especially not in a group. Yes, when we're one-on-one, believe me, I will say whatever you want me to say because one-on-one is very different. And that's why I specialize in one-on-one, because that's really where my power is, because I'm able to adapt myself to you. And then that really works. But in a group setting, or when I'm giving over something that is going to be spread amongst people, I am very, very careful because I am just that type of person. I have this really soft, sweet, sensitive neshama that is, really comfortable in a protected and safe environment. And I want to create that for you. And I mentioned in the live that there is other people who do this. And I wanted to mention her name because I think that some of you might really find her useful for your, for other purposes. If I'm not the one for you and you're still interested in this type of content, there is a woman, Yonina Rubenstein, I think her name is, and she's on Instagram. She's amazing. She's putting out amazing content. And you can go look her up. I'll probably tag her here in the comments after I'm done. And she is very open. She will openly speak about whatever it is that is being spoken about, and she will call things the way that they are. And she's very much, I mean, this is her thing. Okay. She works with teens at risk. She is incredible at what she does, and this is her niche. And so I think that there's a place for her and her people, and there's also a place for me and my people. So if you find yourself that you're comfortable in a environment that is safe and sweet and sensitive and isn't going to be just like, throwing things like we're just on TV, because that's not how I grew up and I don't really feel comfortable that in that way, then you should come and join not tonight, tomorrow night's masterclass. So it's the Intimacy Masterclass. It's going to happen on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Israel time, and it's going to be 1 p.m. Eastern and 10 a.m. West Coast. So if you are interested, there is going to be the link in the comments also, and you should make sure to sign up before 24 hours are over, because then either the recording will be available for sale, or it might go up in price. I'm not really sure, but the price is $97. It is completely, totally worth it. It's going to be super full packed of amazing information, and I highly recommend it. I've been working on it for a long time, and the more I work on it, the more that I'm like impressed with how much I have to say about this. In the beginning, I'll tell you the truth, I really didn't know if I was going to be able to like put together that much to call it a masterclass, but I have blown myself away with the amount of, just downloads that are happening. I sit and I write and I like really developing it into something that is way beyond what I expected. So I am very excited about it, and I think that you will be also. The people who already signed up are excited, and I look forward to doing it. So I just wanted to give you guys that a little bit of like answering that major question, and a little bit more of giving you a little bit of a taste or an outline a little bit. If you have any questions, you can feel free to put them in the chat, and I will answer them, of course. A lot of people have been taking that opportunity to send me PMs and DMs on Facebook and Instagram. Oh, Nicole, I love having you here. May Hashem bless you immensely. Oh, you're so beautiful. Thank you. Amen. I'm getting DMs and PMs, which is really nice because I answer all of them and I look at all of them, and it makes me really happy to get them. I'm also getting emails, advice@ConnectedForReal.com, which is a really great way to communicate. So make sure that you are there. And if you're not on the email list for any reason and you want to start getting some of my updates, I don't send too many, but when I do, they're very exciting. So you can go to connectedforreal.com/free for 5 surprising ways that will improve your marriage. So go do that. And I will see you guys next time I go live, which is probably next week, and is going to have an awesome guest. So stay tuned.